Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming for our last concert of the year, especially on Mother's Day. I realize that's a stretch for some of you, so thank you so much for coming out. For those who maybe don't know, I'm Mrs. McCafferty, and this is my last concert as well here at Brossart. So this concert has kind of become the bucket list concert. I kind of started calling it that a couple of months ago. And every song that you're going to hear was a song suggestion by somebody at some point. And the first one is actually one of mine. I've had it sitting on a Post-it for 3 years, intending to do it, and I figured this year was the year. So all of the students wrote program notes to tell you a little bit about the music that you're going to hear, and they will read their program notes for you. So up first is Alex Howard.
Woo! Jump in the Line, better known as Shake Nora, is a calypso song written by Harry Belafonte in 1961. The inspiration for our class to play this song actually came from a Latin demo song on one of the pianos that the freshmen discovered one day, and we all started to love it at the point of wanting to listen to it every day. Mrs. McCafferty searched for the music for this demo, but she couldn't find it, so Jump in the Line was the next best thing. Jump in the Line introduced our class to the Latin and calypso genre that we have never really delved into. We have a lot of percussion in this song, including güiro, congas, and Aaron learned about Latin drum beats. Mrs. McCafferty herself is also making a guest appearance with her flute playing the melody. This song has been a great learning experience for us all to learn new things and to be exposed to different type of music that none of us have ever considered playing.
Hey You is a progressive rock song by the band Pink Floyd. The song was written by Roger Waters and is featured on the album The Wall. The album tells the story of a troubled rock star named Pink who retreats from society and the world. In Hey You, Pink realizes the mistake he made by building a wall between himself and the world. He attempts to escape, but later finds there is no escape. The song features references to other parts of the album, like the melody from Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 can be found slightly altered back in the guitar solo. And the chord progression from the bridge can be found in Bring the Boys Back Home. Performance features a bass guitar solo by Alex Howard and a guitar solo by myself.
was one of Kenton's suggestions too, and he'd been playing a different Pink Floyd song, I can't remember which one right now, during open house, and we were going to do that one, and then he's like, well, I've never done Hey You before, maybe I could learn something new. I thought, yeah, sure, that'd be awesome. E period, if you aren't already, you need to be coming up here. But while they're getting set up too, each class, there's 4 separate classes at this point, and when I came here 9 years ago, I had 1, and then I had a choir class. And the 1 instrumental class, I have at least one of my original students here today, and it was a class of 7, and that's it. And I had no idea what I was walking into. I'd been, trained. I had my bachelor's of music ed at that point, and I thought I was going to be a band director, and I was going to do band with clarinets and saxophones and trumpets and trombones and stuff. And then I end up with a rock band. I thought, oh my gosh, that would learn a lot. And it's turned into something really cool. And I still can't believe that I've gotten to do this every day for the past 9 years. And moms, especially today, I don't know if you noticed, but your kids are awesome. And I thank you so much for letting me borrow them every day for 48 minutes or however long I get to see them every day. All right, so E period is ready. And our first, a bunch of people suggested this next song, so it was kind of a bucket list song for more than one. And reading this one is Nathan Pinson.
Wagon Wheel was originally produced by Bob Dylan, but there are very many remakes of the song. The 2 most famous versions are by Darius Rucker and Old Crow Medicine Show. Bob Dylan started to compose but never finished it, so Ketch Secor finished it 25 years later and made it into his signature song. Darius Rucker, years later, made it a #1 hit on country music. This song has become very popular over the years, and you can mostly hear this song at any country gathering in 12 Mile and almost any wedding reception you attend. Listen to the bass line in the song. We switched the bass part to make the song a little more interesting, to help bring some color to the song. The bass line gave us some difficulty by learning the walk down of the chords and doing it in time with everybody else.
actually borrowed Callista for that song from F period, so thanks again, Callista, for stepping in for that. The next program note is from Will Olberding for Wake Me Up When September Ends.
Green Day lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong wrote the song Wake Me Up When September Ends about his father, who died of cancer on September 1st, 1982. After his father's funeral, Billy cried, ran home, and locked himself in his room. When his mother got home and knocked on the door to Billy's room, he simply said, "Wake me up when September ends." The audience will hear a good guitar ballad with a sorrowful tone at its heart. It goes from a great solo performance to a full-on freak out of rhythms with the use of bells and electric guitar. The song will definitely leave the audience full of emotion.
It should be coming up now. Which of all the classes is the biggest one, with a very diverse set of instruments in it. And the first program note for this one will be Macy Crawford, the Billie Jean, which was actually a song suggested by Carter, who was on bass. Just because the bass line's really cool. And he kept playing it. I'm like, why don't we just do that? That'd be fun. So.
The song Billie Jean is by the American legend Michael Jackson. It was written and composed by Jackson and produced by Jackson and Quincy Jones. There have been many contradicting claims on the true meaning of this song's lyrics. Many think it had to do with a real-life fan claiming that Jackson or one of his brothers was the father of her twin children. However, Michael Jackson stated it was just based on groupies he had encountered. The song became a huge success, becoming one of the best-selling singles of 1983 and topped in both the UK and US charts simultaneously. It was also placed number 58th in Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. It received numerous awards, including 2 Grammys and an American Music Award. Michael Jackson stated that when he wrote this song, he knew it was going to be a great success. The song Billie Jean blends sounds of post-disco, rhythm and blues, funk, and dance pop. In this piece, you will hear a distinctive bass line along with defining chord progression.
song is actually one of Jason Shack's, because he kept playing. Because he just kept playing this lick from it. I'm like, okay, let's do that one too, because that's really cool.
Piano Man by Billy Joel was inspired by real-life events. Its characters could be found in a real-life LA bar called the Executive Room. In fact, the waitress practicing politics was actually Joel's first wife, who worked in the bar. This is the first song on Joel's breakthrough album, which made him a household name. Piano Man is written in waltz time, which is unusual for a pop song. The original song also included a harmonica part that was inspired by Bob Dylan. Unfortunately, there is no harmonica in our playing of the famous song, but do expect to hear the famous piano intro impeccably played by Jason Shack. This song gave us the opportunity to experiment with different sounds and crescendos. Piano Man, released in 1973, is still a big hit today.
Now I realize I didn't have E period bell, so sorry guys. Okay, G period should be coming on up. And G period songs are very different from some of the other things we've done, and really by their songs I really mean the second one. The first song is going to be a little similar to some of the other things you've heard. But the first one is Adam's Song, which is by Blink-182. Andrew Waymeyer will be reading for that one. And this particular bucket list song comes from Jack Rice, who has, I have like a suggestion box in my room because I always tell them, if you suggest a song out loud to me, 9 times out of 10, I'm just gonna say no, even if it's good. I don't know why, it's just a snap reaction I have. And he kept being like, can we do the Adam song, or can we do, you know, like any other Blink-182 song? I think he put like 12 songs in my box. Okay, so the more I started thinking about it, the more I thought, you know, like when I pick songs, I try to tailor them to each group and what instruments I have and what their skill levels are. And Adam's song was a pretty good fit. So, again, reading for this one is Andrew Waymeyer.
Adam's song is performed by the rock band Blink-182 and was released on their album Enema of the State in 1999. This song was written primarily by Mark Hoppus while he was going through a state of depression while he was on tour away from his family. While the song is slow and depressing, the band believes that it has a strong message that life gets better and that there are many ways out of a tough situation. Some notable aspects of the song include the main guitar riff performed by Jack, the piano solo at the bridge played by Travis, and the unique drum fills from Kevin. This song allowed us to learn the importance of dynamics as well as learning to maintain a consistent tempo.
Slow and depressing. We'll find out. Ritter has been kind of suggesting on and off for 4 years now. And for whatever reason, like the class that he was in or the group that we had at the time was never quite like the group for this song. And for those of you who've been coming to concerts for a while now, you're gonna see why. I'm a little excited about this one. Reading for this is Evan Kramer.
46 and 2 is a progressive rock and metal song recorded by the band Tool in 1996. The song incorporates a unique time signature and aspects of sacred geometry in the drum patterns. The song also has very complex rhythms on every part, including vocals. This was by far the hardest song I have ever tried to learn here at Brossard, but it was worth it because of how fun the song is to play, and there's a great satisfaction in knowing I did something difficult. Our class has worked on this song since December and has made huge amounts of progress since then and has gotten that much closer to each other because this is the type of song that each musician needs to know each other part in the song in order for it to run smoothly. We also took this opportunity to incorporate a light show into the song because of the rock/metal show feeling the audience deserves while listening to it.
They did that all on their own, by the way. Like, I had nothing to do with that. I was out last week, and they're like, so we're gonna do a light show? I'm like, okay. This is 46 and 2. So everybody's gonna come back up here for the last one, because I always end with a big group song, and this is no exception. This particular song that they're ending with was a one-off suggestion by Hunter Young. Like, he was just hanging out after school one day, and he's drumming, and he's like, hey, you know what would be a pretty cool song? It's like Living on a Prayer. And I had been having a hard time picking a group song for this concert, and he said that, and it was just like clicked in my brain. I thought, yeah, that would be a really good song. And at the time, they didn't know that I wasn't gonna be coming back next year, but I did. And when he made that suggestion, I thought, that's pretty fitting, because that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing. And really, that's what we're all doing, if you think about it. This has been an amazing ride for me. 9 years here has been awesome, and I didn't know that it was gonna be. So again, thank you so much for letting me borrow your kids, for coming to these concerts, for supporting us. Some of you have been coming here since I've been here, and you've made it to every show. Some of you are freshman parents and you're just out here for the first time, and I hope it keeps going, because this is a really special thing. I don't know of many schools that get to do this every day, that get to reach our students in this way. A lot of times in schools, music can be kind of an exclusive activity, and here I hope it's for everybody, because it's kind of a point. So after this concert is over, there are, if you saw on the way in, there are snacks and stuff on the table up front. You're welcome to stay and eat snacks and mingle and chat. And if you have somewhere you gotta go, I understand that. My Mother's Day gift to you is that they don't have to stay and clean this up. We're gonna get that tomorrow. So they don't have to worry about that. Thanks to those parents who let me borrow their kids this morning too. It takes a long time to set this stuff up. It's not just like 15 minutes in and then we're ready. So thank you to those parents who let me borrow your kids this morning. Reading the program note for Living on a Prayer is Aaron Bell.
Thank you, Ms. McCaffrey. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Living on a Prayer, composed by John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, and Desmond Child, is a tale about two working-class kids attempting to make it on their own. A unique feature to the recorded version of the song is the talk box. A talk box is an electronic device that allows a guitar player to make distorted sounds with his mouth. Of our version, you can expect to hear a modern rock drum beat followed by a multitude of chords and bass to support the melody. The key change and unique blending of sounds made this song interesting to work on for our band.
Thanks, somebody. On behalf of everyone on this stage and everyone that has been in this music program, I'd like to thank Miss McCafferty. She has built this program from the bottom up. She told us on Monday that this would be her last year at Bishop Rosser, and when she told us, a lot of us were really sad because she's more than just a teacher. She's a really good friend, and she's a really, really caring teacher, and she's probably one of the best teachers, if not the best teacher at Bishop Rosser. And so we would like to thank Miss McCafferty.
Folks, as you know, I'm not no spring chicken, been in this profession 33 years, and I can say from the bottom of my heart, you do come across teachers who care about kids a little bit, and then we come across teachers who really get after and they get chills as I say that. That's how Emily is. So replacing her, as I told Mark, I said, it's a sad day, and I said, it's a worrisome day for me, because I have big shoes to fill in that position for find her replacement. So it is a tough task, and I know the good Lord will bless us, Bishop Rosser, in finding that person, because the good Lord is blessing Emily, as you know, as she said. So she and Mark and Anthony are tight. That's their family outside of this family, and they're really excited about their journey to finish their home and to move into that and just be mom and dad and family. So that's a tough sacrifice, because she's given that up, the place that she also loves. But she loves being at home. She wants to be a mother full time as well. So my hat's off to Emily, because you said, no matter what, my prayer is strong for you, because you guys are embarking on a tough journey, but you know you'll make it. You'll make it because you want to, and you guys got love in your family. So let's give it. Hey, do you guys know how to do 1, 2, 3? You think they can do it, students? Let's try. Let's see if the old folks out there like myself can do it. You guys do it first, though. Ready? You gotta be loud though. Come on, it's your last time for Miss McCarthy. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. What do you think? You guys think you can do it? Jim, you can't do that. You got precious cargo in your hands right there. All right? Try your best now. Joe, you can do it, buddy. Come on, 1, 2, 3. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. See, you got excited. For Emily. 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's pretty good. Thank you so much for coming out, and it means a lot to her and her students, and we thank you, parents.